it's hard. As Annette says, it's hard to climb the ladder from shutdown. And in general, climbing the polyvagal ladder is not easy. It's something that humans can do. Animals in general can do it. Mammals can climb back up into their safe and social state. But we've kind of lost human beings have seemingly lost the capacity to do so moment to moment and day to day. We still can. We can still do it. But in general, climbing the polyvagal ladder is kind of a challenge for us. So yeah, going up into any state from shutdown into flight fight, from flight fight into safety, like these are difficult things, or even from fight into flight. Those aren't different states. They're both sympathetic. It's just different looks for the same state or different behavioral sets. Every state up the ladder is different. It's new. We're not used to it. It's vulnerable. It feels weird. When we climb our polyvagal ladders, it kind of feels weird. We're not used to it. You know, we get used to existing in defensive states out of necessity. You know, it might be how we were raised. We had to exist in some sort of defensive state in order to get our needs met. And so shutdown might be one of those states that we exist in. And that could have come from a number of things. But the point is, we may exist in these states. So climbing the polyvagal ladder, it simply feels weird. It's different. It's vulnerable. It can be overwhelming, especially from shutdown into fight. It can be overwhelming to go from no energy, to go from feeling this emptiness, this void internally, to all of a sudden having some energy come back in your system. It can be jarring. It's different. Usually what I find with my clients is that as they come out of their shutdown state, they find that they're more irritable. And, you know, ideally we want to build the safety stuff up first so that they can handle that. But they'll tell me that, you know, I find myself snapping at my loved ones more. And it's not like I want to, but I feel this irritability inside of me. And that's a common kind of first step in coming out of shutdown is as that energy starts to come back in your system, it's going to be that fight flavor. And just having a little bit of that is going to be more of that irritability. So that's common. And in therapy, it's easier to get to the safety state, to feel into the shutdown, to feel the returning energy. It's easier to do so because you have somebody there. You have a co-regulator. It's okay to talk about it. But outside of the therapy room, things get a bit more difficult. There's not really anyone at home you can talk to about this stuff, probably. It's not normalized in the family context, probably. So things are more difficult. And it can be overwhelming if you don't have somebody with you who sees what's happening and can kind of guide you through it and keep you anchored in safety. But it's really important. That is so important in all this ladder climbing, is that we have access to our safety state. It's really important. We have to have a strong anchor in there. I have a course, it's called Building Safety Anchors. And it can really help to build the capacity to tap into, to feel those safety pathways, but to also exercise your capacity to stay in those safety pathways, or at least enough to be able to tolerate some of that returning sympathetic energy, or even to discharge it if that's something that you plan on doing, maybe through therapy or through your own work. But we have to have that solid foundation of the ventral vagal pathways built up. That's called the vagal brake. The influence of those pathways on the heart to keep it at a calmer pace, so that as this energy comes up, the heart can stay at a calmer pace, which means the flight fight energy won't be as intense. So my course, Building Safety Anchors, I think it can be really helpful in laying that solid foundation of safety. It teaches you different paths to feel safe. It leads you in 30 days of practicing, learning, practicing, in small doses, not too much each day. You can find that on justinlmft.com, or there's just a link in the description of this episode.